same structure, of course. Now let's go on to FTP. FTP, you guys know how you can make an FTP connection. I don't have to make like a drawing of this. It's not hard. You can do it through your FTP client. There are multiple FTP clients available. Does it mean that you have to have a FTP client and command line? No, you can use FileZilla as well. I don't even have FileZilla. I don't even think I have CyberDuck on here. Jesus, sorry. But there are so many options when it comes to FTP clients. Like, it's almost incredible. Do I really need to tell you guys which ones to use? No, of course not. That's fully up to you. You're going to use your own FTP client. I'm not gonna do that. Anonymous login is an important exploit that you guys need to know about, where you can configure an FTP and you can just log in with an anonymous username through the command line. That is your username anonymous, and then you have no password. Through here also same host, username anonymous, no password. How you do that with your client, that is up to you. I just given you some examples. Once you are in the FTP menu, once you're there, you can use the help command to see which commands you can execute. And look at this picture closely. There's a very peculiar thing in here. There we go, nmap. So in the FTP command line, I can run nmap or what? I'll have you look that up just for fun. Have fun, because this is not an easy topic to research, believe me. It's not so clear what that nmap thing does, but it's rewarding to find out. Now, anonymous login is going to be an important one. CD is going to be an important one for changing, of course. There, is it there? Yeah, I believe it's there. Get for, of course, downloading a file. Put for uploading a file. These things are, they are important, of course, that you understand these, but I'm not going to make you guys do this assignment right now. The thing is, it's not hard. It's not hard at all, that FTP part. What can you look for as well? Outdated versions. That's also something that might be an issue. Then you might have an exploit available for that outdated version. Feel free to submit your FTP assignment. SMB is going to be largely the same server messaging block, not Samba, what some people might think. Here you have like a, it's also can be used for file systems, and you can, for example, make a connection. I've listed some commands in here, but I see that they're a little bit crooked, so I'll have to fix that in the final, I'll have to fix that on Podia. But anyway, basically, these are just some commands you can execute for SMB. Again, I'm not going to go too deep into it. Why not? Because my company doesn't really do this type of pen testing. It's largely you come across something, you look up how to hack it. That's how you begin with this kind of stuff. You will usually find either web or FTP or SMB or SSH. I don't even think I have SSH in here, but my god, guys, you can be sure pretty much on every exam that the SSH password is going to be something easy to guess. So give it a shot. Use Hydra if you have to. I am not against using tools. If you want a cracked SSH password, try it, because like 90% of people don't get this. They just skip SSH. Why is that? Because I don't really know why. Why do people skip SSH? Why do people not really look at it? It's strange. It's a strange concept to me, because it's literally your way into the server. And believe me, admins are lazy. If they can get a lazy password and they can get away with it, they will do it. Some of them, at least. Some of them are security minded, but some of them, by God, Jesus, how they haven't been hacked left, right, and center yet, that's a mystery to me. So yeah, SSH, FTP, SMB, email, these are some things you might be coming across. What I'm usually going to put on these servers is some outdated version of software that you might hack or something. Those are usually going to be there. Anonymous FTP login, SMB shares that I've shared without needing a password with no logins. with null sessions. So there's these type of things. Will I ask you anything about Wireshark? Will I ask you to use Wireshark? No, that's not what, like, on this exam you won't be needing Wireshark. I did include it, of course, because it might be important for some of you later on, but that's not really in the scope of this course, let's say. I'm going to talk about a few other tools as well. Tools that you need for network hacking, in my opinion. Some of these are a little bit outdated. We talked about Nmap already. Here you can again see a little bit of a connection, but this is not correct either. Jesus, I really need to correct these PowerPoints. And this is not correct either, and this is not correct either. Remind me to correct this, please, guys. And this is not correct. Okay. Thank God. This is something that I haven't really demonstrated a lot. This is a scanner that I found. This is a scanner which you can do a web scan with as well. So the thing is, here we go. If you want, play with this a little bit. Like, I see a lot of people go for the major scanners, that's perfectly fine, but when it comes to vulnerability scanning, why not try it all? So this is also a perfect option that's perfectly valid. It's not super advanced, I'm not gonna say that, but it does find some stuff on my labs which other scanners can't find. The thing is, it's Chinese, sometimes the translations might be a little bit shit, not gonna lie, but it's useful in my opinion. So X-Ray, Wireshark, yeah, there we go with the capitalization again. Wireshark, analyzing traffic. I'm not going to go too deep into it in this course. That's more of an OSCP kind of thing. There they go more into it. I'm not going to go too deep into it. Hashcat on the other hand, or John the Ripper. Believe me that you will be needing this sometimes. Let's say that you get into a server and you might need to crack some certain files. John is going to help you there. I'm talking about, of course, the etc password, etc shadow files. Hashcat is also a good alternative for it. It's a lot faster because it uses your GPU. Some VMs might not be able to handle GPU sharing though, so there John might be a better option. Some servers might not really have a GPU. Same thing, if you're working on a server, you might need to use John anyway because the the servers, the VPSs don't really have GPUs. So just look at which tool is applicable in which situation. Can you use Hashcat? Use it because it's faster. Can't you use it? Then use John the Ripper. This is all for local files, so local brute forcing. If you want to brute force over the network, can be any protocol, HTTP, HTTPS, SSH, FTP, can be any protocol again. In that case, you can use Hydra. Hydra needs a user, of course, needs a password list, and then needs an address with a protocol. That protocol is going to determine again what it's going to brute force. That's important because a lot of people think that it's only applicable for SSH. Well, it's really not. Aircrack NG is something that I haven't really used a lot of myself. That's more for Wi-Fi pen testing. So I won't go too deep into this. Play around with it if you have some time. Did you like it? Oh, look at getting like a... Of course, yeah. Now, Metasploit, like in the beginning, I mean with this, avoid Metasploit. Why do I say avoid Metasploit in the beginning? Because a lot of people run scripts blindly. They have no idea what they're running. They just set some options, they set go, and that thing does its magic. And that's not the way to handle Metasploit. Like, the thing with Metasploit is, uh, you can be sure that if there's a Metasploit script for it, I'm going to make it that it's a different OS that you need, that it's a different Python version that you need, that it's God knows what you need, but it's not going to be in Metasploit. And I'm not opposed to using these type of tools again, but in the beginning, especially you need to learn how to exploit manually. Like everything that Metasploit can do, you can do manually. You don't need it per se. It's useful. It speeds things up if you know what you're doing, but I don't like it. It gives you like a skitty mentality, in my opinion, and that's not the way to handle these types of tests. Like in this instance, I always try to encourage people to do it manually first to see how it works. It's not that difficult, believe me. You just need some Python experience, you need some Ruby experience, you need some Go experience, and it might sound very daunting now. You need some C experience for compiling shit, but all of these things are not as hard as they seem, believe me. It's just all not as hard as it seems because you don't need to be able to write these scripts, you just need to be able to adapt them where it matters. And that's usually going to be in OS commands anyway, or it's going to be in some kind of cross compiling or whatever. It's not super difficult, it really isn't, but you just need to put some time and effort into understanding what your scripts are doing, which you should always be doing anyway. You should always understand what you're running against your target. If I catch you running scripts blindly, just copy, paste, run, then I'm gonna fail you. That's not the way we handle our scripts. We read them, we understand them, and then we run them. And how will I know if you're running scripts blindly, you might be asking? Very simple. I'm going to, if I want to get like a specific exploit on a server, and it's a exploit that you can often find, like you can find maybe a lot of exploits for this, but all of those exploits are going to be written for Tomcat. And I'm going to be using Apache, and it's the same misconfiguration, it's just a different server, might be a little bit of a different thing. And I see you throwing your Tomcat scripts at me, I'm gonna get angry, of course, because then you don't understand what you're doing. I need to see those Apache scripts coming in because I'm running Apache. I hope that makes sense to everybody. Um, Nikto, it's getting old. It's not a very popular vulnerability scanner anymore, but use it. Like, there's no harm in it. Just start a new terminal. It's not hard. Start a new terminal, start a new scan. Start a new terminal, start your GoBuster scan. I mean, you all have computers that I assume are not potatoes, so multitasking shouldn't be that much of a problem. Well, no, not real. Like, the thing is, with these development things, it's really not as hard as it seems. All you need to do is, let's say that I find an exploit DB, some kind of Python exploit. Let's see if I can buy exploit DB. No, that's not what I need. Drop by. Is this a Python? Yep, this is Python. So you just read it, spider slash bin slash bash. Then I might not use bash, and then it's going to make a reverse shell, but I might put bash in a different place. Of course, I'm going to make it clear where bash is at that moment. That's going to be obvious, but if I see you then running bin bash, and it's not on bin, but it's on some arbitrary folder that I made up, and I made it abundantly clear that it's available there, then I might fuck you up. If I see API user auth, then I might change it to API slash v1 slash user auth, and I might change my documentation. And if your website is all the way, like if you're always communicating with slash API slash v1, and I see you running scripts that are not against v1, but are against the normal API endpoint, that's not good. I don't want to see these kinds of things. I want to see you really understand what's happening here. I might install this software, I might change some of this around. Just be careful with what you do. I'm not trying to fuck you over, but imagine a real pen test. Imagine how fucking scary it is to run against a production server. Like, this is not kids games anymore. We get paid up the ass for this. Like, we get paid to read a script to understand it. How fun is that? So we have to deliver a proper job for this. I guess that is clear. I'm going to put you in a group as well, my dear friend. There we go. So yeah, I think that is about clear. We have gone through tools, we have gone through how to use scripts. We will use more of those later. Is there anything else in this? So we've gone over ZenMap. Here you find also, normally there's, yeah, there we go. There's an exploit DB demonstration of a specific exploit DB exploit that we're going to execute against the server. So it's all included in here. If you have questions, we have our Discord server, of course, and we can work from there. Now, I think we all know what time it is, and we're all going to do this together. This is going to be fun. Yes, exactly. And again, we're all going to do this together. So, we're going to try to hack into hexpert.com. There are ways in there, and I want you guys to see if there are ways in there, what you can find. Because we saw some nice ports open, SSH, we saw FTP open, we saw some kind of API open. Let's see what we can find. What's the first step? Who can put it in chat? What are we going to do first? Or say it, of course. Hack into hexpert.com. Exactly. Nmap is a great one in Luzinista. I can put the... I think you've done this quite a few times before. What's the next step? Yeah, we did a basic Nmap scan. Service version, that's a good one. And what command do I use for that? Illusionista, he said the service version. And now we're going to, of course, tag SV. But remember what I said, Illusionista, and I tricked you on purpose. -P 21, 22, 25. Remember, we want to make this go faster. We want to make this go as fast as possible. We don't want to make this go forever. 135. Oh, you can couple it with T5. I will couple it with T4 for now. But I was mostly aiming at the ports, that we define the ports now, because we have the port numbers, so we have to define them. It's faster. We don't have to do this. There's nobody telling me or you that you're going to have to do this, but I just want to show you that it's a lot faster to do it that way, or at least in my opinion. That's also a good one indeed. I can enter a text file. Yeah, I like the trick people. Well, it depends, of course. Like you say, if it's a very big file with a lot of ports. Oh, look, a bunch of bullshit. Let's see. So, where is the start here? I'm going to make this a little bit smaller so I can see it properly. I thought there we go. That's better. Jesus. Making it hard on me, aren't you? Holy crap, that output is shit. Can we do something about that output, guys? Can we put that out better? Is there a better way to display this, to output this? Remember our output all option? Now I made you all scared to answer. What we can do about that output, because it looks ugly. It looks ugly as fuck. Yeah, I was trying. There we go. I put all on the back of it. It's hard to see because my terminal is glitching out. But I put OA behind all of it. It's glitchier by the day, dude. Like Macs are getting glitchier every single day. Oh, it's annoying that it has to do it again, of course, but let's already maybe, while this is going on, of course we don't have to sit down and do nothing. Look what we have here. Is there an exploit for this FTP version? Yeah, VFSTPD 303. That rhymes. Nope. Yeah, good. Any exploits we can find for this? Oh, look. Oh, what a coincidence. An exploit. Search exploit is a good one as well. Yeah, like, don't get me wrong. Yeah, you're right. Like, I don't hate Metasploit in its core. Like, the thing is, Searchploit is great. MSF Venom is great for reverse. Like, these things are awesome. And Metasploit itself is also great, but don't get lazy. Like, don't just run Metasploit scripts to run Metasploit scripts. Now, can we run this? Is this something that I can just run? And why override that? So we have this exploit. I've pasted in. If you ever do that for one of my customers like this, I will kick you in the nuts. I'm not even kidding. I will come to Scotland and I will kick you in the nuts. Yeah, the thing is, this is a denial of service. Denial of service can never be run just like that. Always ask your customer, hey, we might have found an issue, we found a denial of service. Is this something that you want us to look into? Do we need to exploit this? Because if you do this in a production environment and you fuck up their systems, you're gonna cost me a lot of money, and I don't like losing that much money. Exactly, good one. So yeah. No, it's okay. At least you gave an answer. Like, it's don't be scared, guys. Like, I might seem like a tyrant here, but I just want to point you out to all of the dangers that you might encounter Because if I see you running a DOS script on your exam, dude, you fail if you don't ask me. Like, and this is something that I take very, very seriously because sometimes we test in production environments. Anything destructive, but really destructive, like let's say that you're testing SQL injection. If I see you testing with a drop table, you're fucking fired. Like that's who the fuck thinks that it's a good idea to start dropping tables at random? Try to do a select, try to do a sleep, but don't drop a fucking table. Jesus. I know that I might be a little bit like I'm getting a little bit drunk here, so I might be a little bit frank and a little bit cursy, but I'd rather be totally upfront with this. It's important that you really understand what's going on and that you're super careful because like you wouldn't believe how easy it is to wander into a production environment. I've tricked people on their exams by putting up a new website and I've put a link on that website to a production environment. It happens. Believe me, hard coded links happen. What do? Their burp suite follows it, it goes into production, they fail. Because they're suddenly production testing, they're going out of scope. Like these things are very, very serious and believe me, we are having to hire lawyers to make sure that our contracts are waterproof for this. I'm having to get insurance that is per person 7,500 euros that works for me as a pen tester per year. And I know that like that doesn't well actually that sounds like a fucking lot of money. That's nearly 10k per person. Jesus. They're covered up to a few million per person, but it's important that you get that insurance and that you realize that it's serious. If you want to be a pen tester, and especially under me, you represent me. You represent my brand, and I want you to represent it properly as well. That doesn't mean that I want you to fail. You might fail your first attempt at the exam. Plan your next one immediately after it, because I'm sure you're gonna learn from it. Like everybody trips up. If Orgus has anything to do with it, the chances are big. Now, this denial of service, just so you know, this denial of service, it doesn't work. This isn't gonna work. And like Orgus said, it's definitely not all hacking at all. Like there's so much more that goes into it. I'm gonna be an annoying client to you. I'm gonna be whining, complaining. I'm gonna be an annoying piece of shit. I'm gonna say, listen, I really need you to test new scope, and at certain points you need to accept that. At certain points you need to give me resistance. Like, but not tell me I'm a dick. Not tell me I'm an asshole. Just politely tell me what's going on. You're the security expert. You're gonna have to train me on what's going on. This exploit in this case, it doesn't really do anything. There isn't really anything here. It's not going to work. There are some more FTP exploits that you might find. Um, in this case, this is not going to yield anything. It's not going to object shit. So let's look at the next one. The next one we have is Apache HTTP daemon. If you see a web server, don't skip looking up at the version and see if there are exploits. How many of you guys skipped this? I cannot believe. Like, there we go, exploit. That's it, Apache HTTP 2.4 vulnerabilities in Apache 2.4, multiple vulnerabilities, critical patched, multiple vulnerabilities. Look it up, just have some fun, just like, this is the time where you need to take time to look things up. And on the exam, just so you remember, you will probably not have enough time to cover all of that scope. I expect you to tell me as soon as possible. I might trick you by giving you a lot more scope than it seems like. Oh, there's this one website I want you to test. What I'm not gonna tell you is that it has 1,000 endpoints. I'm an asshole. Jesus. But yeah, Apache. Yep. Here you can see a nice one as well. This is of course open LDAP. Why was that? Of course, I'm going to try to get an Active Directory lab going as well. But here we see some LDAP potential, exploring the LDAP service. You can do the exact same. I'm not gonna go too deep into LDAP because I don't like LDAP. I have people that test it for me. Here you can see, it's hard to see, but oh, of course, maybe if I move over the fucking window, moron that I am. But here we can see more. That's a lot better already. So where were we? There we go. We have some bullshit here. Microsoft DS. That's probably not gonna be it. Not gonna look into it. COPS 2.4. Don't skip looking up these types of things because there might like. Sorry. Let's look that up. Exploit. Oh, look, hack tricks. What does that say? Oh, we might have remote code execution. Well, we might need to try that. I like that one as well. com/console. Here we have our console. We don't know the pin. Try some pins, guys. Like, try some. It's important that you just try some basic ones. 9999. Sometimes the pins might be set to this. In this case, we cannot access the console. Since we cannot access the console, we don't have this. We see here pin protection, pin exploits. Okay, ooh, that might be interesting. Maybe we should try some of this shit out. Have some fun, guys. Again, let yourself go. Let the animal inside of you loose and hack the shit out of whatever is in front of you. How do you hack the shit out of whatever's in front of you? By understanding what the fuck you're looking at. Like, what the fuck is this? That's also a good option. Maybe. That's a great option indeed. You can also use Hydra. We have a POP email server, apparently. Oh, no, what is this? Oh, we have JuShop, apparently on here, on port 3000. I don't know where I came up with POP. Expert.com on port 3000. Alright, that's web. That's where web starts, so we'll get into that later. We see more Python shit. We see more Python shit. Guess what, guys? This is an API. These are all APIs, so we might need to hack an API as well. Here we can see that it has certain endpoints. Oh, look, all books, and then book question mark ID equals with an identifier forbidden. We might be able to bypass this, you never know. Just give it a little bit of a shot. In this case, maybe change the request method, who knows, maybe that might do something. But I hope that this was informative. We are not in the server yet. I'm